Hey, this is Josh Keaton, and you are listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
In the spirit of the holidays, I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you're starting right now.
Hello and welcome to The Pullbag. This is episode 468, and we are back with what may or may not be the final episode of So You Want to Be a Hawkeye. We may be bringing this feature back at some point with covering various Hawkeye stuff, like the music to the Disney Plus series and other things. I'm, of course, TFG and Mike. Joining me, as always, Alison Richards. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Well, Disney Plus and Marvel Studios' Hawkeye, the 6-episode series, has finished. We are actually recording this the day it airs. And holy crap, they fit a hell of a lot into 51 minutes. Or whatever whatever the actual time was of it, kind of thing. Because wow, oh boy,
I know, and oh my God! I mean, all right. So I remember when we were first filming, recording the interviews we had with Matt and with Kelly. Mm-hmm. And talking about like what our hopes and what we feared about what the series was going to be. Oh my God. Every single hope I had, really, really happened. I mean, there are a couple of story points I would have liked to see, but everything that I had hoped that the show would be, it nailed on the head. And I think honestly, people are probably not going to be surprised that this is probably my favorite MCU project. But, I mean, I've watched like Age of Ultron so many times because of Clint's part of that story in it.
Right.
I love Endgame, and all the series has so many Endgame references in it.
Yes, it does.
The reason why I like this more than any of the others is the blending of the comic story and the MCU story.
Yeah, it was very well done.
Yeah.
I retire for what, like 5 minutes and it all goes to shit.
We're still friends, right?
Depends on how hard you hit me.
Yeah, they blended everything so well.
Yeah, they did. And it's still its own story. So it's not like they lifted the story from Fractions Comics. It is its own story.
Right.
But the characters are pulled beautifully.
Yep. So we will do this eventually. We're not going to do it. It's the end of 2021, folks. I got to plan out the whole year for next year, but we will be doing this eventually because, as I've said in the other So You Want to Be a Hawkeye episodes, I am currently making my way through the Fraction run, looking at it fresh because I haven't read this in 8 years. And 8 years ago, I barely remember what the hell I read, whatever. So I'm slowly, because as I said, I bought the omnibus a couple months ago. So it has the whole run in one thing on Comixology. And I am up to the point where they did the Winter Friends.
Oh gosh,
So
yes.
you know what I'm talking about. So
It's the one where Clint is sleeping for the whole thing.
Yeah. So I'm there, and I'm about to start what I assume is issue 8 or whatever, where it goes into Doomed to Love is the title on this page here. So the reason why I'm saying all of this is because I've read to this point in the Fraction run, and I think with what they blended, it was more about it was more about David Aja's style than just adapting the story. Because again, like you said, they're in the MCU. So you have to pick and choose what, like putting the 72 Challenger in there, no problem. That's easy. You know, the tracksuits, those are easy to put in there. Maya / Echo, that's easy to put in there. Even though at this point in the comic, is Maya in the Fraction Run, or is she from somewhere? I don't remember.
Maya's, I don't remember if she's in the Fraction Run, but Maya in the comics was Ronin before Clint. She's the one who actually gave Clint the Ronin costume after he came back to life post House of M.
Okay.
Monogrammed butterscotch.
I'm trying to say is what we've already said. The blending was done well with the style and the feel of it. Between me reading the book and watching the episodes, I felt that I enjoyed it more and more as each new episode, as each new issue for the comic, as I'm going through it. I'm like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Specifically to the comic, and we're not reviewing that yet. We will at some point once I finish reading the whole omnibus. But yeah, the feel of this, it feels like it's the entire series, all 6 episodes. You're watching a 6-hour film. It really does. I mean, it really does feel like a giant. And all of so far, and again, as of this recording, I still have not watched Loki, but between WandaVision, Winter Soldier, and this, they all feel like giant Marvel movies in small doses. And with Hawkeye, man, it
takes a lot more than a superpower to do this job. It takes guts.
Hawkeye? You're in the superhero squad?
Let me tell you, I kind of liked Hawkeye, but I wasn't like his biggest fan before the MCU. But with the MCU and with Jeremy Renner playing the character and all of that, especially with how his personality is versus the rest of the Avengers, I'm really digging it. And this show, man, just made it even more. And the other thing I want to say before you go is, in some of the promotions for the final episode, it says season finale, even though they said at one point it's a limited series. I assume this is going to lead into No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness and all of that. And then maybe we'll get a second season, or maybe the Echo show that they're supposed to be doing with Maya. Maybe, we'll have that and then a second season of Hawkeye. I don't know. This is really exciting for me.
And it's exciting for you. You can imagine how exciting it is for me.
Yeah, you're jumping out of your shoes there.
Pretty much. Jumping out of my purple Converses. So I love how you talk about this being a 6-hour movie. Just because the screenwriter in me, it's the art of a miniseries. Because the difference between a season ender and a mini series ender is that the mini series ending wraps everything up, whereas a season ender leaves things hanging.
Yep.
So this one doesn't really leave things hanging. There's no button at the end where we're seeing Kingpin being brought into the hospital, seeing him still alive. We know that unless we see the body, whether he's alive or not, is going to be up to where they put him next. Yeah. But, at that point, that story, Maya's arc there is over. She's gotten her revenge for her father. Kazi's dead, she can move on. Yelena can move on from where she is, and Kate is moving on, and apparently being adopted by the Bartons. But
you kind of got we got our wish, but there was one person missing from that.
Yeah,
final scene.
I know, but I could
still,
Yelena needs time. Yelena will get there.
Yeah,
maybe
she
next
will.
Christmas.
For Valentine's Day or something.
Not probably that fast. Maybe next Christmas.
But what I'm saying, the reason why I say Valentine's Day is, hello, arrows and bows and quivers and all that, even though whatever. But and let me tell you, my buddy Tom DJ said on Twitter earlier, as of this recording, is anyone else shipping Kate and Yelena? And I'm like, yup. Not necessarily as a romantic couple, but as best friends kind of, thing. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to see a Yelena and Kate series. That would be awesome. Yeah,
and that's the kind of relationship that Kate has with America Chavez in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and America is supposed to be coming in Doctor Strange's movie.
Yeah, I think so.
So, I'm looking forward to the next, generation of girl power here. But I was telling one of my friends on Twitter, I'm like, what I would like to do is I would like to take Kate, Yelena,
yep,
MJ, and Katie from Shang-Chi and have them all go to karaoke.
That would be fun. I have not seen Shang-Chi yet. So.
Oh, you need to watch Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is amazing. And the humor that you see in the Hawkeye, it's even got more. It's like almost Ant-Man and the Ant-Man level comedy in there.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have this whole plan for 2022, folks, where at some point I'm going to get myself and a bunch of other people together, including you, potentially Bethany, if Bethany wants to do this. What I've wanted to do for the last year and a half is I want to do podcast episodes where we go through the entire MCU in chronological order. However, because we're currently doing Hawkeye now, I want to go backwards with the TV series. So the next series we would do would be Loki, and then
Falcon,
and then WandaVision. I don't know if whatever others. I know there were other TV series that were not Disney Plus. It was
there's What If.
Well, yeah, there's What If. Yeah. There's What If.
And then you've got the ones over at Netflix. So you've got Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and then the Defenders.
Yeah. But there was was it not Cloak and Dagger? That's an old movie.
No, Cloak and Dagger had a CW series, I think.
I know, but it's also an old movie. I'm trying to think. What was the one on?
I think you're thinking of Lock and Key.
No, I'm not. No. There was something on. It was besides. It wasn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There was something else on, like ABC or something. Oh, what? Runaways. That's what it was.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Hawkeye season 1, episode 6. So this is Christmas? Question mark?
This is Christmas. Look what they've done. Also, okay. So before I forget to bring it up, the detailing of when that took the year that was filmed. So when you listen to some of the featurettes, they filmed it during Christmas of 2020 in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
The owl in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
That is a specific reference to the 2020 Rockefeller tree because they actually found a baby owl in that tree.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yes. So when I saw that baby owl, I just squealed in happiness. Because that was, that is the reference to the year they filmed that. And I was just so happy.
What I love about this is we actually get, at least through the Marvel or Cinematic Universe wiki or whatever, I finally know dates now. Now, not that I didn't already know dates, but dates within the universe. Like the whole Snap thing happened in 2018, and it's now 5 years later at 2023.
No, 2023 is when they came back. This is in
Right.
2025.
No, this is 2024.
Oh, is it 2024? I thought it was 2 years after they got back.
No, it's 1 year after they got back. That's what I was trying to say last time when we were talking about this. And I've looked on the wiki and other things, and they say it is 1 year since the events, or since the return. But that's really cool because part of those newscasters and everybody, they're like, "Oh, we haven't seen Ronan hasn't appeared in years," kind of thing. And it's so much fun. So much fun. Mm-hmm. I am so glad. I don't know, like you said, I think you said this off air, but even though we don't see what really does happen to him, even though we hear a gunshot, I am so happy that D'Onofrio as Kingpin is in this because I love the way he portrays that character.
Yes.
The people need to be reminded that the city belongs to me.
And I really like that they made him as dangerous of a force as he was in Daredevil. Mm-hmm. And, you know, in the end, like Kate got her butt kicked.
Oh, she was
but she was giving too. And that was amazing to see that they actually let her be at a level where she could take that beating.
Where are you going, big guy?
You're in over your head!
Yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those things where I don't know what I expected out of this, but I kind of thought Clint was going to fight him, but I'm glad that it was Kate that did it because it's a part of her character. It's a part of her, you know, not necessarily she has to learn, but she has to face the insurmountable odd, like when she shoots the arrow at him and he just like knocks it out of his chest. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much Kingpin.
Yep.
Like you look at that character, whether it's D'Onofrio, whether it's the old '90s Spider-Man the animated series, or you know whatever. Yeah, you look at all of the portrayals of Kingpin. He may look like a giant fat man. He's all of that. The way his size is, it's misleading because, you know, he like him, like how many languages does he speak? Like I was watching, I think it's season 1, episode 8 of Daredevil to get the clips that I put in last episode of the podcast. And I'm like, holy crap, he speaks a lot of languages. And again, it's one of those things where we assume things about this character, but we don't know. And then when things happen, like Kate trying to shoot him with the arrow, he's like, whatever.
Mind your own business. You're really starting to annoy me.
Also, I misspoke. It's not Clark Brown. It is Michael Clark
Duncan. Yep.
Yes. Wanted to make that correction. Because I loved his portrayal in the
Daredevil movie.
In the you know, Dare Affleck. I actually really love that movie. For all people give it crap. For that time when it came out, it was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, yes, Charlie Cox I like a lot more, but I'm going to give my Daredevil, you know, movie crap.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where, again, there was no cinematic universe in 2003.
Right.
Marvel was giving, I'm not saying they were giving, but they were giving the rights out to anybody who wanted to make the movies, like Fox or like Sony or whatever.
Which is how we got the multiverse.
Right. Exactly. Well, exactly. Oh man, Spider-Man No Way Home. Oh boy,
it's like, how do we explain all these other movies? Multiverse.
Yeah. But
how do we explain Chris Evans looking like Captain America and Johnny Storm? Multiverse.
Exactly. I just took I took a screen cap of something. Oh, it was I know what it was. I'm going through several several episodes of Knight Rider on Netflix, because Knight Rider, the original 80s show, is on Netflix now. And I was watching Goliath, which is the season 2 premiere, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I basically took a screen cap of Michael Knight meeting Garth Knight, which is basically David Hasselhoff, doing the whole stand on one side, stand on the other side, but it's 2 different versions of him. So again, going back to the multiverse, like, I would absolutely, I don't know what they're doing with Fantastic Four, whenever they do it. I would love to see Chris Evans' Cap meet Chris Evans' Johnny Storm. That would be awesome.
Yes. That would be fun.
Yes, it would.
Also, but then, however, they would have to compete for whoever had the real American ass. I'm trying to go back to the beginning of the episode and think about other things I want to talk about. The coming back to what do you call it? First, coming back to the partners bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
where Clint said, Clint doesn't want to go home now because they're partners, not because he's protecting her or, is trying to resolve his issues, which he is. Yeah. But she has gotten to a point where he sees her as somebody who can do this job.
In the spirit of the holidays, I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you're starting right now.
I don't need a minute.
Who sent this?
Elena. Apparently, my mom is the one who hired her to kill you.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't make any sense. My mom doesn't even jaywalk. And now she's working with the mob. She killed Armand. My God, I need to talk to her.
Okay, wait. I think you gotta calm down, okay? Let's talk this out.
Hi, this is Eleanor. I can't answer the phone right now.
Just take a breath, okay? Your mom needs our help. That video, Kate, it's not good. The Kingpin will not take this lightly. He's going to react. And he's going to do it in a big way.
Clint, this is my mess to clean up. You should go home. You should be with your family. You can still make it in time for Christmas.
Kate, you're my partner. Your mess is my mess. I'm not going anywhere until this is finished.
Being that Nat was his partner for so long, to hear, him actually willing to call somebody else his partner.
Yeah.
It kind of shows a little bit of him moving on as well.
Yeah. The one thing I'm happy about this series overall is that we have shades of what already happened. Like I mentioned in the episode where he not lets her drop, but she drops into the Christmas lights, and him reaching like, Kate, no, like, Natasha, no, so I like them kind of mirroring the scenes. I'm glad there was pretty much no flashbacks.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't go with, like, they could do that in other things and whatever, and that's fine, but they didn't have to go into, we're going to repeat the scene of Natasha dying kind of thing. This is more of getting Team Hawkeye together with the LARPers, with Kate, with hopefully Yelena, so you have a Black Widow on Team Hawkeye kind of thing. And it's just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's something I've noticed people talking about on Twitter already, going back to, the bit with Natasha and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it's more about Yelena in what I'm thinking.
Okay.
They're talking about how they feel it's very unrealistic that Yelena's there trying to beat up Clint, trying to kill him, da-da-da-da-da. And then he does the whistle and suddenly she's forgiven him. And I'm like, no. The whistle is what gets her to suddenly stop raging at him.
Yeah.
His words is what then, get her to stop wanting the revenge.
Yeah.
And the reason why that whistle is so important is because the only two people who know that whistle were Yelena and Nat.
Yep.
And so for Clint to know that shows just how much Nat trusted him.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you know that?
Your secret whistle with Nat. She talked about you all the time, Elena.
She did? What did she say?
She told me about how you got separated as kids. She was flying that plane. I asked her if she was scared. All she could think about is that you were safe. That never changed, Elena. She loved you and always wanted you safe.
I mean, you already kind of knew that Nat trusted enough to show him about her family because he knew who the sister's name, who the Black Widows was by name when Kate, said was, sister. Mm-hmm. But to hear that Nat, had told Clint so much about the family.
Yeah.
It had to be one of those Clint had shared his family with her, so she shared her family with him.
Right.
Though it does make me wonder now, and this is maybe something that they can explore further down the line with Yelena and thinking about, but if Yelena was snapped, when the snap happened, Widow obviously was there and she survived. Clint survived. Yelena didn't. Did Nat go to look for Yelena and find out that she was snapped? Because there's obviously people who will tell her that Yelena was snapped or not, because she knows that Yelena was working with all the other widows.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then that adds a little bit more to that moment unconsciously, that Yelena not only jumped for Clint to save the world, to get his family back, but it was also to get her sister back and, protect her sister and help her sister one last time.
You mean Natasha, not Yelena.
Sorry, Natasha jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, in that moment, he's, like he says in this episode to Yelena, he tells her, you don't need to know what the actual event was. What you need to know is she fought me for the choice of saving the world, and she was better than, he says specifically, she was better than me. And she let me, because of our friendship, because of our quote unquote love for each other, and because she knew that my family meant everything to me with his wife and his children and everything else, she specifically says it. No, you're going to go live. It's okay. I'm okay. I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Now you look at Natasha, and maybe we'll start doing character studies or something for comic characters. I don't know. I got a whole thing in my head about this, but you look at Natasha from the point she joins up in Iron Man 2, when she is first introduced, to when she decided to sacrifice herself. That's a whole arc in itself that has a character growing through the whole thing. And the same thing with Yelena. Between Black Widow and this, she's under the impression that Clint Barton killed her sister, and she wants to kill him for it. However, like you already said with the whistle, he's trying to get her attention. He's trying to snap her out of the anger, and he is telling her facts of what happened without actually hurting her by telling her the gruesome part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it is just so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the very end of it, the thing I think that nailed it for Yelena more than anything else was when Clint said, "Come on, Natasha." And you think about what Natasha did in the Black Widow movie. And, her and her stupid trying to protect her sister and self-sacrificing, there too. And it makes sense that Yelena, once it's pointed out to her, no, this is what your sister does, think about her for a moment, think what she would do.
Yeah.
That it gets through her head.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely does. And before all of this happens, though, before the whole Clint and Yelena thing and everything else, I think we have a new best elevator scene in comic book history.
Yes!
Because the only other elevator scene I remember is, I think it's Spider-Man 2 or 3 or something, or I forget. But basically, Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker, Spider-Man was in an elevator kind of thing. But this elevator, oh man, this was so good.
So, I know you're chummy with my mom, but I gotta say, I didn't think you'd make the cut for the Christmas party.
Kate Bishop. I'm not here to ruin anything. I'm just going to kill Barton, have some appetizers, and then I'll go.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the bruschetta, because it looks like you already lost him.
He's in the elevator.
Well, yeah, out of 65 floors, you think you're just gonna magically guess which one he's on?
12th floor.
Damn it.
Enjoy the party. No, Kate, stay.
Ah.
No. What was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's there's still one that I think is better, but that is because it's me. Is the elevator scene in The Losers, because The Losers is a Marvel comic, and yeah, you have the scene with Chris Evans first going up where he's changing and he's just in his Under Armour undies when the door opens and all the ladies are there. And then you have where he's trying to get the elevator down and he pretends that he has actual finger guns that fire and it's really, his partner sniping from a different building.
Yeah.
So, but no, her trying to just get all the buttons, which, funny enough, I thought she was just reaching for the emergency exit. But no, hitting all the buttons works a lot better.
Yeah, it does. And the reason why I say this is because there was another movie that had an elevator scene in it, and this movie is 20 years old this year. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Serendipity with Cusack and Beckinsale, John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale.
Yep, I've seen it.
Okay, so in that, there's a scene where she's like, okay, I'm going to choose a floor. If we pick the same floor, we can date whatever now. But if we don't pick the same floor, then it wasn't meant to be kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So he gets in the elevator. He picks the right floor, same floor as she does. And during this whole thing, the elevator opens on one of the floors, and this dad and this kid in this devil costume come in, and the kid just starts pressing all the buttons. And I'm like, oh, God. So, this reminded me of that. And I kind of figured that's what Kate was going to do. I didn't think she was going to go for the emergency thing. I figured she was going to hit all the buttons. And because as soon as she tries the first time and Yelena smacks her hand, and she's like, no, don't. Or whatever it is that she says. And I'm like, oh, yeah, she's not going for the emergency thing. She's going for all the buttons.
I want to think that somebody did that in Mission Impossible 4, which is another one Jeremy's in. Mm-hmm. That they either hit all the buttons or that Simon Pegg's character just had them stopping at every floor.
I'd have to go back and watch it again. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's while they're in that Mumbai or the Dubai hotel.
Yep. Oh yeah. I don't. I know the scene you're talking about, but I just don't remember if that's what actually happened.
Yeah, not that I need an excuse to go back and watch Mission Impossible 4.
And it turns out, sadly, Jack isn't a Skrull. He's just a patsy.
Oh my God, the biggest red herring ever. And I don't know whether I'm happy about it or not.
Yeah.
I kind of love that everything he's actually been doing was honest. He really wanted to be a stepdad and be nice to Kate and loved Eleanor and all of this. And I'm just like, oh my God, you're supposed to be a bad guy.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Yeah, so sadly, folks, he isn't a Skrull. But
he still, however, does have some shady stuff because he is going to a black market auction underneath to get the road and stuff.
That's true.
But he was truthful in everything with Eleanor that we know of.
Yeah. She was the biggest liar in the whole series, though.
I told you.
I know.
I'm glad they didn't go the Madame Mask route, though. I'm really glad they didn't go the Madame Mask.
I think it could be on the way to that for a later story. That would be cool. But I'm glad she is just Eleanor Bishop, biggest liar in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, that's gonna do really bad for the stock options of Bishop Security.
Yeah.
Kate better sell her stock options while she can.
Yeah.
But I do like that Kate didn't give her mother pause either. Mm-hmm. She did the right thing to get justice. Mm-hmm. And even when her mother is like, you're really going to do this to your mother on Christmas? Kate just tells her mother, I love you, because she still loves her mother. She can't, she can't condone what her mother did.
Right.
But she can still love her mother.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of ways that family members may screw up or may, do things that are, obviously question. I don't want to sit here and say Eleanor is straight up evil. She's not. Kingpin is straight up evil. But, she was in a tough spot. Her husband at the time, not Jack, Kate's father, Derek, owed Kingpin, and she, Derek died, and she has to be, paying, whatever. So it isn't like, there are certain things that over time that you can forgive, or you can, go back and say, hey, let's put the past in the past and let's start fresh and whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think at the point of this episode, the 6th episode, we're quite there yet, because Kate's just finding out all this stuff now about her mom, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I bet in the future, wherever we end up seeing the Bishops again, maybe something will come to pass where they're on better terms.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just the beginning of Kate Bishop's time in the MCU. So there's time to explore all of that.
Absolutely. Once
the
again.
LARPers as Team Hawkeye.
Yeah.
The fact that Hawkeye was able to get them in doing all those jobs, I bet you Kate had something to do with that.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it was still funny just to be like, oh, I see her. I remember her. I remember them.
Yep.
It's Kling Guy.
Yep. I loved the scene when they go to the party.
Mm-hmm.
And this is still when Kate is learning and, whatever. And he's, he asks her, okay, so what do you see? What do you notice? What are threats? What are, what are our assets and whatever? And she immediately goes and looks, and there's Gary. She's like, that's Gary. That guy fired me from one of the only jobs I've ever had. He's evil. He's a bad guy.
Yeah. And I like that scene because it's also a callback to episode 2, where when Kate was fangirling over Hawkeye as they were walking back to her apartment, she was like, are you assessing threats right now? Mm-hmm. It's a callback to that.
Yep.
I don't see my mom yet.
Why don't you tell me what you do see? What are our assets? What are our threats?
Threats? That guy. That's Gary. Fired me from one of the only jobs I ever had. Assets? Well, we have those all over the party.
Yeah, almost everything with Clint and Kate in this finale, in the 6th episode here, is a callback to something like, you're not my partner. You're my partner now. You're supposed to, you know what I mean? All of that is a giant mirror of how the series started to where the series is at the point of this ending. And wow.
The labeler with the trick arrows.
Yes.
That was an episode 3 callback.
Yep.
Also, I just have to say, the amount of competency and, scientific intelligence they gave him in that moment.
Absolutely.
Because, again, it's so easy for people to just think Tony made those arrows for him. But no, it's him. That is probably his little, storage facility workshop somewhere that he has to build his arrows.
Yeah. I mean, he can get technology from Tony or from Scott or whatever, but he still has to make them. Because you can't. Okay, Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, an absolute genius, absolute hero, absolute asshole at times, whatever. But Stark can't look at Hawkeye and say, okay, I can, do all of this and this is going to work for you. Clint has to do the things like I said, he can get the arrowheads. He can, have somebody make the arrowheads themselves to do the effects of like the acid arrow or the putty arrow or whatever. But he has to be the actual one to make the arrows because he's the one shooting them and he's the one that knows how his aim is and everything else. And it's just, oh man.
But I love how she started labeling them, and you could see the labels when they're actually like moving arrows over to from Hawkeye's quiver into Kate's quiver. You could see the labels, and just like I was waiting for a boomerang arrow, though. I really was waiting for a boomerang arrow, but I think they're going to give that to Kate in whatever Kate does next.
So Yep. So
Well,
we're
I
going
was
to
just going to say, because she's the one who brought it up.
Right. So we're going to talk about the ending, but in a little while, folks. But right now, I want to bring up the fact that I was surprised that there was no end credit scene where she is testing out a boomerang. Like, he's off to the side, fixing, making whatever, doing something with other arrows, and she's trying to test out the boomerang. Like, I was really surprised there was not another scene for that. But no, this whole series was just so much fun.
It was.
And it, again, the mirroring of, Kate being stuck in the Christmas lights and Clint being stuck in the Christmas tree. And the whole fact that is Rockefeller Center, and that's one of the biggest things in New York for Christmas time is the tree at Rockefeller. And man,
Clint, I need you to hang on tight.
Yeah, you think? Hey, wait. What do you mean?
I'm gonna get you out of that tree.
No, don't do anything. Kate, I'm gonna get out myself.
You want me to say on my signal or no?
Kate, please don't do anything.
All right, I won't say it then.
Repeat after me. I'm not gonna do anything incredibly stupid. Kate, what just happened? Kate, do not.
Timber.
oh yeah.
He's just like, no, Kate, no.
Like, should I give
No.
Do you want me to give you a signal, or do you not want me to give you a signal? Okay, I'm not going to give you a signal, but here you go. And oh man, this episode has I want almost every single quote in this episode that is really, really good, either from Kate or from Clint or from Kingpin, as a ringtone. Not that anyone calls me or anything like that, but just seriously, like,
who uses cell phones for phone calls?
That's true.
Well, I do, actually.
I mean, I do when I have to.
Nobody ever answers, but
but it's just so good, so much fun, and man, I cannot wait to see what happens next. And I know I need to catch up. Like we said, I need to watch Shang-Chi and other things and whatever, but I don't know what's next, but holy crap, man, this series was so good.
What was the thing? Oh, when we were first speculating about the electricity going through the poles around Rockefeller Center, we had originally were like, oh, that's Yelena, that's a Widow Bite color art kind of thing. It was nice to see that in the end it actually was Hawkeye, and one of his arrows creating that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really awesome.
And then the Trust of the Bro truck gets shrunk. And you're like, what do we do now? And it's like, I guess I'll have to have Scott. And then the owl
comes in.
It's like, oh, those poor bros. Poor bros.
Yep. And what I absolutely love about Kate and her personality and how she is as a character in this show. The one tracksuit guy is like, oh, I talked to my girlfriend and blah, 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 blah. Again, like I said, the first half of this series is one side of the mirror, so episodes 1 through 3, and then 4, 5, and 6, specifically 6 here, is the other side of that mirror because, again, it's all calling back and, you say that this does have an ending, which it does, and whatever, but, there's so many, it doesn't leave you to the point of, other than Kingpin, because we don't see what happened. We hear, like I said earlier, but, we see things being, not necessarily loose ends, but we see things come back to the point of, oh, that's a good moment because that happened earlier, and this is the result of that kind of thing. Yep. It's so good.
We got to go walk that dog.
Yeah, we got to go walk that dog. Oh, Lucky.
Yeah. Oh, and then when they're coming out of the house, and not the house, sorry, the the building in Rockefeller Center. And they're trying to get all the rich people to stop screaming and actually listen and follow orders, which is exactly how any, real emergency situation goes. And the LARPers are like, well, they're not listening to us. We don't have any authority, well, let's go, go change. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, for one moment, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so they have their fire and police gear there. And I'm like, no, wait, no, they wouldn't have those. They have their LARPing gear.
Yeah.
And then we got to see, Grill's actual LARPing outfit when he's not Ronin.
Yep. Yeah. Everything about this is so good. The only thing it's missing, and again, it's only because I'm only just at the beginning stages of reading the Fraction Hawkeye run, is a barbecue on the top of Kate's building. That's the only. That would be the
Clint's
one.
Building? Well, yeah, it would be Kate's building here.
Yeah, it would be. It would have to be Kate's building, not Clint's. I don't know. But the reason why I said Kate's is because I figured it would be easier to have it there versus I don't know, whatever. But the point is, again, to mirror the scene from the comic where they're all having the cookout thing.
Yeah,
that would have been cool.
Kate's apartment was the barbecue.
Oh, that's right. Well, they did it in a different way. I'm just saying, like the whole rooftop thing. But yeah, no, it's oh man, this series.
Yeah, no, the one thing that I really missed and was interesting, like we got to know a lot more about Hawkeye in present tense and, his thoughts, his feelings, his thought processes, his history with Nat. But we still don't know where the he came from till when he got to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, we don't. But that's okay. I mean,
I really, really had wished we would have, even if there was, how you said that you wish there was an end credit scene with the boomerang arrow. I would have liked that scene to then have Barney Barton walking up, and being like, hey, bro, kind of deal.
Yeah. Even though we don't have some of the stuff that we want in this series still is. It, like we've said, it gave us almost everything that was really awesome. There are no moments here where I felt uncomfortable. There are no moments in any of these episodes where I'm like, that doesn't really gel, or that doesn't this, or that doesn't that. There was no moments where I wanted to skip over, dialogue or anything like that. It's just a solid 6-episode series.
Yeah. And it shows once again that superhero projects do not need to be 100% serious to be good superhero stories. Because that's the big thing right now over at DC. It's like everything has to be emo and drama unless it's Suicide Squad. But I honestly am not a big fan of the villains, But here you have, so we've had Thor Ragnarok, we've had the Guardians, we've had Ant-Man's, we've got the Spider-Mans. Everything, those all have some aspect of comedy. We left the seriousness, really with maybe the first 2 Thors. And even then they had comedic moments. So that's really, I think, why MCU does so much better than DC, is because you have that human element of just humor and real life within it, and it's not all drama heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is going to be my holiday tradition from now on. It's going to be just
watching Hawkeye.
Watching Hawkeye. Bethany can have her Die Hard. I will be watching Hawkeye.
Yeah, Die Hard. It's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie that takes place at Christmas. Anyway.
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Going back to Marvel Cinematic Universe Phase 4, and I know I read this off in one of the other episodes, but basically it goes we have, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, The Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness and Thor, Love and Thunder are next year. Wakanda Forever is in 2022 as well. Guardians Volume 3 is 2023. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is 2023. No date on Fantastic Four yet for the series. Like I said, Wanda, Falcon, Loki, What If, and Hawkeye. We're getting Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Secret Invasion, Ms. Marvel, the Guardians Holiday Special, Ironheart, Armor Wars, and the Untitled Wakanda series. So Phase 4 is going to be huge, and it's going to be a thing where, for me specifically, that I'm getting introduced to characters that I like. Shang-Chi, however you want to say it.
Shang-Chi.
Yes. I'll watch that and be okay with it. I don't know if I want to watch the Eternals, but maybe I will. But the rest of it, I'm gonna
end up watching the Eternals for being able to have that knowledge for whatever comes after it. But yeah, it's not something I'm really that into.
Yeah, like I said, Phase 4 is huge between television and film. And it's going to be really, really a fun. It's you look at phases 1 through 3 over the last 2008 to now, so whatever that is. But, you look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe to the point of, let's say, Hawkeye, and it has almost everything that you, as a comic book enthusiast, would want adapted on the big screen. Sure, there are certain things they can and can't do and whatever, and you like certain films more than others, and you can rank them however you're going to rank them. But those first 3 phases were one big giant story, and Phase 4 seems to be it's a whole other animal, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I just can't wait to see a lot of, how characters are already established are going to mix in with new characters coming out. I mean, we know that they're eventually getting to Young Avengers because we've had almost all of them now show up, or we know where they're showing up. So, it's inevitable that we're going to get there. And I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what happens next.
Me either. Coming up next, let's, before we close this out, what would you give episode 6, 0 to 5?
Do you even have to ask?
Yes, I have to ask, but I already know what the answer is.
Yeah, an 11.
Yeah. It's a 5 for me as well. And again, looking at this series as a whole, there's so much here that they can play with in another season if they were going to do another season of this show. And I'm really excited to see what happens with this in the future, because this was just so damn cool. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some ads and some other stuff, and I'll come back to close the show after this. Or we will, anyway.
Yep.
No. Oh, my God, what is happening? Did you plan that?
Yes. No.
No. Come on, that is so annoying.
Hello, geeks and geekettes! Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics? Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks. Every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey gamers, TV's Mr. Neil here. The Gaming Hipster is my personal podcast in which I take you on a journey through my history of gaming, both new and old. Each month is a new topic show in which I bring you my console memories, give reviews of my favorite video games, and talk with cool guests.
People have made cartridges. I've actually played Netflix on Nintendo.
I was making sure that I got everything. I was writing it all down.
They fixed that for the third fake prototype.
And that's the first time I remember seeing real animated boobs.
Find the podcast at geekcastradio.com or on Spotify. You can also hear a deluxe version of The Gaming Hipster at ravinghipster.com or patreon.com/Mr. Neil. For $2 a month, you can hear longer versions of the podcast with after-show segments and stuff too raw for the internet. You also get various topic shows, my commentary podcast, The Big Bad Movie Show, commercial-free Geekcast stuff, and more. All at patreon.com/Mr. Neil and ravinghipster.com.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news, play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film. Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes, Blog Talk Radio, or geekcastradio.com.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk.
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download this show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
What are we doing? I mean, it's Christmas Eve. Let's grab a drink, huh?
Okay, yeah. Cool. Sure. After I kill Barton.
No, that's not what. Come on, listen, you don't.
All right, folks, we are back here inside of the pull bag, and wow. Oh boy, I think this is going to be the last episode of the pull bag for this year, so we're finishing off with Hawkeye Season 1, Episode 6. So this is Christmas? I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what we're doing next here inside the pull bag. I have listed Ice Cream Man, but that could change, obviously. For January, I am not sure. I have to make a whole new plan for next year and whatever else. But yes, we are ending the pull bags 2021 stuff with So You Want to Be a Hawkeye. And yeah, any final thoughts? Anything we missed, Allison?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot that we missed, but I'm still in very much fangirl squealy mode.
Yep.
I haven't even watched the featurettes, so we may have to come back for that at another point.
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to mention is that if you are in need of more Hawkeye stuff, after you watch the finale, remember that we have the Hawkeye comic series by Marique out. Issue 2 came out last week, I believe, or this week.
Oh, did it?
Yeah. And so there's that. And then also this week started the comic release of Wasteland's Hawkeye in comic form.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And the variant cover is so beautiful. It has Clint and Natasha on it, which makes me believe that this is going to be something different than the Old Man Hawkeye comics, and different than the story that is in the Wastelanders Hawkeye audio series.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the story is going to be. I just picked it up, so it's still sitting in the bag waiting for me to pull it out and read it.
Yep. Issue 2 for Kate Bishop, Hawkeye Kate Bishop by Marique came out the 22nd. So yeah, today. So yeah, you guys can go over to Amazon or go to your comic shops or wherever you get your comics and and read that.
And apparently also, I saw somewhere that the Rogers the Musical poster is going to be a free download starting tomorrow. Check out the Hawkeye official Twitter feed, and they'll link you to where it is.
Oh, very cool. That is one thing we didn't talk about. Well, we kind of talked about Rogers the Musical a little bit, but we didn't really. At the end, you've got, Happy Holidays from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You've got the opening where it's
Adam Pascal.
Yes, but it's the outside, it's the cityscape, and then you go into the inside, and you have the whole musical, and I just love the way they did that. That was so cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of the feature, the one featurette I did watch, where they talk about the musical and about how they weren't sure if it was going to work because it was like they had to go and find all these Broadway actors in a theater performance and a theater space and build a set and such. But yeah. I love that they actually gave us the entire scene because we don't get to see all of it since we see cuts of the Bartons and then they leave halfway through it. So it was nice to actually see the entire performance and scene of the song that they created.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plus also more Adam Pascal for me.
There you go. I think that's going to do it for us. And folks, I want to remind you that now that the Hawkeye stuff is done, at least for 2021, we'll come back to other Hawkeye things later in 2022, but you can head on over to the Fortress of Baileytude because at some point after January 11th, 2022, the Superman and Lois tapes will be returning.
Yep.
So head on over there to listen to the stuff that they've already done, plus the new stuff that they're going to do with season 2 of Superman and Lois on the CW.
I'm real excited for that. They released set photos of the first episode, and
did they?
They're looking good.
Awesome. Let's see, what was I going to say? So I think we're going to go. I didn't want to do it this way, but we are doing it this way. I think we're going to go backwards in reviewing the TV shows. So next will be Loki. So look, I actually have to watch it. Yay.
See?
I don't know what it is about that character. I just don't care about him.
I love Hiddles. I mean, I love Tom Hiddleston to death. He is a great actor.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of the story doesn't hit me. Maybe that will change once I start watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But it right now, just the premise wasn't interesting to me. I mean, honestly, the only reason that I really got into WandaVision is because knowing Billy and Tommy were coming from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason I watched WandaVision.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it isn't necessarily about him having his own TV series. It has nothing to do with Hiddleston's acting as the character. For me, specifically, why I have zero interest is because I've never really had an interest in Loki as a character. In the comics or even when he started in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I was like, oh, okay. When they finally, defeat him in Avengers, I'm like, okay, he may come back at some point and whatever and do something, but this is like, he's done for now and we're going to move on to something else.
Yep.
I don't know. It's just not a character I attach to, I guess. But anyway, so we'll do Loki and then we'll do Winter Soldier and then we'll do WandaVision and then the Marvel TV series, at least for the Disney Plus stuff, will be done until whatever
Maybe go
comes.
back and do Daredevil.
Yeah.
If nothing else, because we've got Vincent D'Onofrio,
Oh, I know.
We can go back and look at that, and that way when we do start seeing more of them coming out and bringing in the Defenders side of the Marvel Universe, we will have knowledge.
Yep. I'm trying to remember if... Oh, that's right. I did already, on another podcast on something else, I did already do Daredevil, but hell, that was back in 2015. We can always do it again, so that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, folks, where when you do stuff and you forget about it, you're like, wait, when did that happen? And then you have to go searching on a website. So, Hawkeye, I am very excited for this show. I think the show did amazingly well. There is a graph, I think is it on the Wikipedia page, where it's like showing the overall ratings of like the episodes and whatever else. Like it's a whole... I'm trying to find it here, folks. Sorry about the typing. Where was that picture?
Well, you can link it in the thing.
Yeah, so in the Wikipedia article for the Hawkeye 2021 TV series, they show a graph from Rotten Tomatoes where Hawkeye 2021 percentage of positive reviews tracked by the website Rotten Tomatoes, and they're all at, positive reviews percentage. They're all at 100 to 95, back to 100, and it's all like an even keel thing.
So they're at least 95% fresh.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just so fun. The only thing I'm waiting on now is, because I don't think it's out yet, because like we said, we're actually recording this on the day that the episode airs. So I don't think Honest Trailers has had a chance to do it yet, but I am waiting for the Honest Trailers for Hawkeye.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So probably what we're going to do most likely is the next episode will be some sort of Marvel Cinematic Universe Hawkeye amalgamation between talking about if the Honest Trailers thing comes out and the score from Christoph Beck, because Volume 2, which is episodes 4 through 6, will be released on Christmas Eve 2021. And I love listening to scores and hearing the music outside of the dialogue and the sound effects and just really feeling the moment. I have a playlist on Spotify called the Go 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 list, or the Go 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 playlist, or whatever it is, but it's basically Go Go Go. And I have songs on there that are basically just all upbeat. They're all to motivate me to get moving and get doing stuff and get stuff done and whatever else. And I have Alan Silvestri's Portals from Endgame on there, because that whole scene when they come back and that music is just so damn good. So I can't wait to dig into the Hawkeye Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Christoph Beck on Spotify. So
just remember, the end credits is actually Depeche Mode's Christmas Island.
Yep, absolutely. So where can the people find you online, Alison?
Best places on Twitter, where I am Ali Sky Richards, ALISKYRICHARDS.
MOUSE.
I knew you were going to do it, so I was prepared this time.
I am at TF2 and Mike. You can also follow at The Pullbag and at Geekcast Radio for all the other stuff that we do. And yeah, Merry Christmas, folks. Have a Christmas, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate this time of year, New Year, all that good stuff. And we will talk to you. Maybe we'll do the music episode for New Year's Eve. I don't know. But most likely the next new episode of this podcast will be sometime in January 2022, not 2023. I'm not taking another year off. January 2022 most likely will be the next new episode, because I have to go back and check and see what the plan is and the scheduling and the whatever. So, yep. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time here inside the Pull Bag.
Save the city, help us win. Save us all from the state we're in. Things look dark, but I know this can't be the end. There's a future, and I know then, with the strength you bring us, we'll rise again. Avengers unite, 'cause we know you got to hear you say, I can do this all day.
I could do this all day.
Don't worry, folks. The show isn't over yet. How the hell could we forget to talk about Laura Barton?
I know. I mean, again, the biggest callback. What the hell was the importance of the watch?
Mm-hmm.
And you got, and you know, I love that he gave it to her as like a little side Christmas present. And then he was just like, you need to watch where you leave your stuff.
She's like, oh yeah, you're one to talk.
But of course, that then is like, wait, when was Laura at Avengers Compound?
Yeah.
And so I do love, though, the reveal that Laura was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because how else would Clint have had time to meet somebody and fall in love? And Laura has been like this amazing, like super spy handler. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it really means a lot to show that she is that she has S.H.I.E.L.D. history. And I kind of want to see that play out a bit more, especially if they go to West Coast Avengers. Because then that means that, you know, Laura can be a part of that.
Oh, it's just some Christmas. You know, I gotta be really honest with you, Kate. It doesn't happen too often, but every once in a while, you come across somebody that just makes you better. In every way. And that Missy, boy, she just outdid herself with this suit, right? The elasticity in this fabric.
Stop.
I know tonight was a lot. You took on Kingpin all by yourself. Not many people walk away from something like that. Man, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You know what? We gotta walk that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the fact that, you know, she's like, you talk about relationships and whether they're on TV or in a movie or whatever. Like, seriously, the two of them, I want to see more about their relationship because, wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so good. And I want to see more with their kids and all of that. I am all in on the Hawkeye family thing. And not that Clint is ever like this, but I just had a flash in my head of Clint as Archie and Laura as Edith. Oh, get the bunkers out of my head.
No.
No. I know. But my point is that what we see of their relationship, and she even says it, no one other than me understands more than what you have to go through, kind of thing. And I absolutely love what they did with it. And the fact that, like, they kind of mention, like, about the watch in earlier episodes, and he's like, yeah, it belonged to somebody, and blah, blah. Like, he kind of hints at it, but we don't ever really find out until, obviously, now, where it's, you know, she was the agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., she was this, she was that. Oh, man. It's just so good.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, A, why did Kingpin want that watch?
Yeah.
Knowing that, you know, is there some way to get back to S.H.I.E.L.D. with it? Or is there something special about Laura's watch that, you know, that we still don't know what it does? We just know it belongs to her.
Yeah, I thought they were going to, like, do something more with the actual physical watch. The only thing that they really do with it is he hands it to her, or maybe he turns it over, or somebody turns it over, and we see the event, or the S.H.I.E.L.D. logo with her agent number on it. But I thought other than the fact that it's her watch and it has a transmitter in it, I thought that there was going to be something more, like maybe a hologram of somebody or something. I don't know.
Well, there is one Easter egg in that for comic book fans.
Okay.
The number 19, Agent 19 in Marvel comic world, is Bobby Morse.
Yep.
Who is Clint's, wife/ex-wife in the comic world. Now, Bobby Morse exists in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but they've said that they've separated Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. from MCU canon at some point. I don't know what they said, whether it follows along with the movies or if it's another alternate universe at this point. But it makes you wonder then if Laura is a cover name for when she left and it's a new identity and she actually was Bobby Morse.
Maybe.
And if that's true, though, if that's where they try to go with it, that's going to be very interesting because that leads to a whole lot of stuff that Laura can come in and do after the kids have started going to college.
Yeah.
Because Bobby Morse was an amazing biophysicist and biochemist, I believe, before she was recruited into espionage.
Yeah. I mean, you never know what they're going to do. And I've been so anti-Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, I had watched that first season and I'm like, I'm done. And I need to go back, but again, just like with the Hawkeye Matt Fraction series, I need to go back with fresh eyes and look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. again. And I did start watching it, but I'm only in the first 20 minutes of the first episode. Mm-hmm. So yeah, folks, that's what we forgot. We forgot to talk about Laura. I will say that even though there were certain emotional moments, whether it was a good moment or a bad moment, thankfully episode 6 of the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus did not have an emotionally crushing moment like, Clint and Nate and Kate on, the whole phone call thing and all that. So
Clint made it home for Christmas.
Yep. He
brought some strays with him.
That's right.
That's how Natasha came the first time, is that he brought her home and is just like, I brought home a stray. Can we keep her?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Can we? Oh, you did not just say that. You did not. Can we?
Oh, yes, I did.
Oh, my God. Oh, Casper. Oh, Lord.
You coming?
Yeah. Come on, Lucky. Hey, are you sure this is okay?
Oh, I'm telling you, they're very excited to meet you. Daddy! There it is. Daddy! Merry Christmas.
You made it. You kept your promise.
Here, take something.
What's your name?
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This is Kate. Come on in. Let's go. It's cold.
You made it.
I made it. Hey. I missed you.
I missed you too.
Oh, that's so cute. What's his name? That's Lucky.
Oh, right, yeah. Brought home a couple strays.
Hi.
This is Kate.
Welcome, Kate. So good to have you.
No way! I've always wanted one of these.
You're never gonna guess what was found in a black market auction in New York City.
Thank you.
I want to take better care of your stuff.
Oh, you're hardly one to talk.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullback, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at thepullbag and at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.
None of those.
Okay, fine.
You know what? Actually, I have an idea.